Hello everyone, this is my birthday today. I'm filming this and I have here a catastrophic wheel failure, rim failure to be exact, on my hands. This catastrophic rim failure did not lead to an accident because I caught it early on. Things usually don't just fail suddenly. Things fail gradually and you can notice the gradual slight or very nearly microscopic changes early on. I love a good story about metal failure and metallurgy, and in this video I'm going to show you and explain exactly what went wrong with this rim, as well as I will replace this set of wheels. Both of them are considered failure and I'll explain why, with those ones. I'm going to compare the two of them in terms of differences in technology and weight, and we'll explain what numbers are critical in wheel replacement that ensure a proper fit of wheels into a frame that you have. My frame here is a 2016 Norco threshold aluminum. Your frame might be different, but this is just for show and tell and demo. I'm going to point out some of the differences as we go along. I will also focus on the fit of geometry, and it's different from suitability for purpose. So the number of spokes you have and the material of the spokes is important. It's a suitability thing. The number of spokes does not interfere with the geometry for mounting. Okay? Likewise, the width of the rim for your tire sizes is not going to interfere with the mounting geometry. It is important. It's a suitability for purpose issue, but suitability and fit are different things. So I'm going to focus on mostly the geometry of the fit and the numbers or facts or parameters that you need for mounting a wheel for a replacement. Because if you go to the store and tell them, hey, I need a front wheel, yeah, it's a road bike or a rear wheel, whatever, it's not going to help them. You know, my bike is orange. If they don't beat you with a stick of wood, you'll be lucky. Or if you tell them anything that it's going to be cute but of very little value for a technician to go on with, okay? And no, your make and model number is not going to help for the frame. Your wheel needs to be specified for replacement. So in this video, like I said, I'm going to explain those numbers or those parameters that are important for wheel replacement to ensure a fit, a geometric fit for mounting on your frame. Let's take it from the top and let's start with what exactly failed on the rim. The rim is cracking up everywhere, and this is, it's cracking up around its middle from spoke hole to spoke hole to spoke hole. I marked the locations with this green masking tape. They're at 5 locations or so. You get the idea. Eventually these cracks that are right now about 1 centimeter, I'm going to get you a close-up, about 1 centimeter on either side of the spoke holes, and the reinforcing stainless steel spoke nipples are also being pulled out of the rim and torn out and are physically raised from the rim. These cracks right now, half an inch, or 1 centimeter, 1 centimeter, eventually these will lengthen and will join together, and then it's gonna split in half, producing a catastrophic wheel collapse. Usually you don't want to wait for that unless you really like being in an accident. Could cause a lawsuit if it leads to a major traffic accident, and possibly injury if this happens to you. So you don't have to wait. Early signs of failure are clearly visible if they are not covered in muck. Plus you need to know what you're looking for. So let's pick a spot like this one where the damage is clearly visible. Let me just give me a little time to focus the camera here a little bit with my hand. So this reinforcing spoke nipple here is being raised from the surface. This here is normal. This one here is not. It's subtle, it's slight, and the black powder coated rim is an aluminum or aluminium rim. Aluminium is a gray metal which is being is bulging up here slightly, okay, ever so slightly bulging up. And if I rotate this rim, maybe, okay, I'm going to rotate it the other way around too, because it might be easier to see it this way. Oh yes, we're talking business. So the spoke reinforcing nipple is being pulled out, and these two gray lines here that also catch my nails catch on are the aluminum that's now tearing up my nail and this middle finger, and this is the metal of the rim. This is not a cat hair or contamination or whatever of the rim. This is a cracked rim being lifted up, and this edge here your nail can catch on is where the metal is failing in both these directions. The next one over is normal so far. The next one over is failing on one side, especially here on this side. Now that you know what to look for, I'm trying to tilt it and run the light across it. There is a short faint gray line that shouldn't be there. It's not a scratch, it's lifting out. It's failed here at this spot. It's very nearly microscopic. Okay, let's pick one more spot here where it says SX19. So this is the failed model of this failed rim. And of course, manufacturers are trying to stay within a budget, and they put these rims on. Okay, so I replaced them with better ones. So this is the spoke nipple being lifted out, and you can see that white line there and that white line there. That shouldn't be there. They are not scratches, they are cracked metal, aluminum's color showing up underneath or where the powder coating separated. So this needs clean wheels. Okay, here's one. Okay, last one. But just for a good measure, just to have a really good visual here, you can see both left and right sides here failed. You may not be able to catch your nail on it, but these failed. Alright. Eventually, is it worth replacing just the rim? Only the rim failed. The spokes are good, the hub is good. No, they are all trash. Let me explain. They all have the same age, about 7,200 kilometers, and that's a year and a half of commuting at speeds, hitting potholes in the road, deep ones sometimes, at speeds between 35 and 45 kilometers an hour typically, but downhill, of course, down the big hill it's 80, up the hill of course is 11, 10.8. Okay, you get the idea. 35 and 40 pothole, I weigh 210 pounds plus my gear, backpack, what have you. It's a shock load to the rim, and this rim is too chintzy for it. The manufacturer's choice of rims, maybe good for competition, I don't know, whatever, they last yay long, and it's probably outlasted itself fantastically well already. So the SX19 WTB rims are not worth saving. The spokes are trash and the hub is trash. Why? Because the spokes behave like guitar strings or violin strings, they are, or bow strings on a bow of any type, and they are always tight. You tighten them with a spoke wrench, and they periodically loosen up now. And you can see some of the spokes needed replacement over time. So what happens is, because they are always tight, what happens to your guitar strings, whatever, you always have to tune the guitar or tune the violin, whatever. Eventually the strings on the musical instrument will rip apart and tear. The same with the spokes. So spokes not worth saving. Also because the spokes will fail here at the sharpest bend here at the neck, right around there. Also the spokes go through a hole in the flange on the hub. This is the hub, that's a flange on it. The hole is being pulled into an oval shape in the direction of pull from the spokes. Okay, that hole is being elongated microscopically, just like these cracks are microscopic features. Visible, but really, really tiny. And these holes are being elongated. These holes in the hub flanges are also not worth saving. Okay, the whole thing is trash. However, on a separate video I'm going to show you this hub technology, how to maintain it, what's inside. We'll show you the parts, and we'll also explain about this really atrociously sounding super dry trash hub here. Okay, I forgot, brain freeze, but it's okay, we'll keep going. Okay, I've got this free hub. So this free hub had its ratchet mounts and whatever. When the wheel spins, it's atrociously coarse and needs a lot of turning force, whatever. We'll take it apart and we'll show you what's inside in another video. I am going to compare the technologies between hub technologies of the old and the replacement wheel, so there's going to be a little more detail about it, but let's do the numbers now that we have the metallurgic discussion under control here. What's important? What's important is that this particular wheel is 700C. That's its size. It's like your shoe size. You know you need European 42 or whatever, or North American size 10, whatever. You can have a 650C or B wheel, whatever. There are different sizes. 29 inch, 26.5, whatever. 24 inch wheel, whatever. In this case, I'm running 700C wheels, and this number may not be printed on your rim. You're going to have to measure it. Of course, nothing is going to be 700. 700C is its nominal diameter. Nominal means in name only. And when you measure this, it's going to be about 635 millimeters. So don't spaz out. This is a 700C wheel, and it mounts, for historic reasons, it's 700 from the outside of the tire to the outside of the tire, the diameter that way, whatever, long story. So this 700C tire will fit on this 700C wheel. So 700C, or whatever tire choice and wheel size choice you have, that's your first number, 700C. Second number, this is an 11-speed free hub. 11-speed means 11-speed cassette is gonna fit on it. Take it off the plastic sleeve and just slide it on and tighten it. This needs 11-speed. It needs about 35 millimeter of spline length on this free hub. If it's too short, your 11-speed bike is not gonna mount an 11-speed cassette on it, and your 11-speed shifter, now found, sorry, it's upside down, now found on the handlebar there, is not going to work, because if you only have a rear wheel with a 10-speed free hub with 10 sprockets here for 10 gear changes or 10 gears, especially your shifter lever reels up or winds up the cable in 11 increments. If you have 10 gears here, the 11 increments will not work with it. It's gonna be running noisily, whatever. It's not gonna work. End of story. Alright, so your lever, this is just a brake lever, but your shifter brake lever combo, this is an antique technology here, but just for story here, if it's 11 speed, your derailleur is also, at the rear, is an 11 speed shifter, 11 speed derailleur, 11 speed cassette on 11 speed free hub, or 10 if you have 10, 8, whatever. Okay, it's your number, but the numbers need to match, and you need to watch out for this. Now, you might try your luck to entrust all of this information to a store person. Yeah, good luck with that. You kind of need to take charge on your own on this. So 700C, 11 speed, that's not all, we're not done. This one has a disc brake on it. The hub here has a flange for mounting a disc brake on it, and this disc brake mounts with 6 mounting holes, not 5 or any other number. The screw sizes from the old one will go on the new one, so that's okay, that because the thread pitch is matching. as well. So not only the bolt placement, but the thread pitch for the mounting screws will match. Of course, for mounting you are gonna need a torque wrench. You can see the torque here, 6.2 Newton meters. Of course I have a torque wrench that's calibrated in Newton meters, as well as 6.2 is a number that can be selected on it and is not oversized. So okay, for the rear wheel, 700C or whatever size, 11 speed or as many speeds as you have, disc brake if you have disc brake, and this one is 6 bolt holes. It mounts with 6 bolts, not any other number. And another way to mount the disc is through some splines. These are splines here. They look like this on the free hub, but they are splines machined into the hub here, just short there. So that's called center lock. So the brake might mount in your case with center lock. This one mounts with 6 bolts, screws, whatever, not center lock. So 4 pieces of information for this geometry so far. 700C, disc brake, 6 bolts and 11 speed. One more piece of information is that the axle here is missing from the hub. The axle in this case is right here, is this one. A bunch of loose ball bearings and this conical surface here, the cone, interacts with a press fitted cup, cone and cup. That in the hub there you can see the shiny surfaces where the bearing balls run. Separate video on what's inside here, how this hub can be maintained and greased, and that's 2 separate videos on just this. And so this cone design with this kind of hub, loose bearing balls and with cone, is what's inside here. And through this axle, look at it, it's a quick release axle. You can see a hole through it thereabouts, and of course this skewer, this quick release cam action lever, goes through this, the middle of this, to mount the rear wheel. So that's your last piece of information that you need for a proper geometric fit of a rear wheel. 700C, one last time, I'm not insulting your intelligence, but just one last time. 700C, 11 speed, disc with 6 mounting bolts, quick release axle. All that is needed for a geometric fit. If one of the pieces of information is missing, it's not gonna work. Optional, number of spokes, directionalness of spoke, whether it's round or bladed for aerodynamics. Of course it's important, but that's suitability and is not interfering with the wheels mounting. The width of the rim is only important so as it has to fit through here at the narrowest point, both at the front and the rear. That's the front, whatever, you get the idea. If you try to put a mountain bike rim on a road bike, it's not going to work, forget about it. So it's not going to fit. Okay, so the width of the rim, whether it's 19 millimeters on the inside or whatever, whether it's clincher, tubeless or tubular, whatever tires you're running, that's your business. It's a suitability thing. Of course, it all has to fit the frame at the narrowest point, but for mounting the wheel, these are the things that you need. 700C, 11 speed, brake disc with 6 bolts, and it's a quick release axle. Next wheel is the front wheel. Nothing failed on this front wheel, but for the same metallurgical reasons, this is all trash and is treated as unsafe. Not even in a pinch. Yeah, you might be able to ride, I don't know, 300 kilometers on it, whatever. It's really not worth experimenting with it. I'm fully expecting the same crack lines to appear here at about the same time, so they have the same age, the same number of shock loads, whatever. Of course there's more load on the rear wheel because yeah, about 60% of the load is on the rear wheel or 70, and only 30% on the front wheel or so. Alright, this one has a different mounting. This is a through axle. I know this one also goes through the axle, but this is just called through axle. I did not name it, I'm just telling you how as it is. Look up there and there. Through axle. Its diameter 15 millimeters. Its length, whatever the bike manufacturer gave you, it comes with the bike. You have to configure a wheel, or you have to choose a front wheel that is capable of housing a 15 millimeter through axle in this case. If your front axle is quick release, God bless you. You have to choose the proper mounting method. This one is a quick release. Sorry, this one is a through axle, not a quick release. Same brake disc, 6 mounting holes, not a center lock, and it's also 700C. So the only thing that is less information for the front than it is for the rear is that it doesn't have 11-speed free hub on it. So 700C, disc brake, 6 bolts, 15 millimeter through axle, not the 12 millimeter through axle, the 15 millimeter through axle. Alright, on the new one you can see how this is configured the same way. The quick release goes through there, a little bit noisy but brand new. Number of spokes besides the point, I don't know, 24 spokes, whatever, something like that. I think 24. Check the specs. Of course, the brake mounts the same way with the 6 bolt holes, and the splines here are long enough for all 11 speeds. So that's a check, check, and check. The rim doesn't conspicuously say 700 millimeters, but if I measure it across, it is a 700C rim. The front is slightly different, of course. For the 15 millimeter through axle, its spacers and everything is configured so that when the side of the hub where the disc would mount for the brake is properly placed into the frame, then the spacer to spacer distance fits the frame just like so. And of course put the axle through it, whatever, it's flawless. So this spacer to spacer distance here, okay, you get the idea, there, is fixed. You don't have to worry about it. Your 15 millimeter through axle, that it's 15 millimeter, that's important, and that it's a through axle. The technologies inside the front wheel hub here are press fitted ball bearings. What that means is, I can show you on this failed scooter wheel. This is a ball bearing. Inside are bearing balls. This is a ball bearing as one product, and it gets press fitted into the recess of the hub like so. In case of the scooter, the bearing on this side failed and collapsed catastrophically, and then it was noted by a kid who told me this needs work. Alright, but it's a good show and tell piece. So that's how the bearing is press fitted in a hub. That's exactly what's there. 2 bearings are press fitted in this hub, and in the old wheel, front wheel, also runs on 2 ball bearings, same way. So that's not an upgrade, that's the same change. That's the same, yeah, it's a change without a difference. The new rim weighs 805 grams. The old one, as is, without the brake, with the 15 mil through axle adapter, whatever, everything as is. This one is 882 grams, so it's a little lighter, the new one is. And for aerodynamic purposes, this is a 30 millimeter rim, slicing through air a little better. That's also a suitability option. The rear here is 910 grams, on this one with the tape, everything as you see it. And the old one that it replaced is, this one is 1003. So if you add all the numbers together and do your magic, that's what you see, the numbers for the WTB and the Alexrims. So it's a weight saving of 170 grams between the two sets. The aerodynamic benefit is of value to me. And one more thing, there are, instead of loose ball bearings and cones and the press-fitted cups, cones and cups and loose bearings, I have 4 load bearing, because the rear wheel has more weight on it, 4 press-fitted ball bearings inside this hub here. So this particular Alexrims Boondocks 3 model comes with a number of spacers and adapters. This is for the front wheel. The front wheel can be converted. Instead of the through axle that you saw, it comes with skewers, one for the front, one for the rear for quick release mounting. Of course I have this, so I pulled out from the kit. There you can see how these go. So this one just slides in place. Pull out the other one. Of course, okay, how do you pull it out? It's a fairly easy fit like so, when you can press by the flange and pull by the flange, but these flanges go into a recess on the hub, and you're gonna have to reach in there and kind of poke it out from the inside out. It's gonna be a little bit fiddly to change this, but with this particular Alexrims Boondocks 3 wheel set, it's possible to reconfigure the wheels for your mounting. So that's also one thing to watch for in the product's description when you're choosing and buying a wheel set. It's a long video. Thank you very much for watching. That's all I wanted to share for now about the metallurgy of the wheel. And do watch out for, if you're interested in maintenance, my free hub maintenance and this cones and cups and loose ball bearing ball kind of hub maintenance here that I'm gonna do separate video. Thank you very much. I still have a birthday cake to eat, and yeah, I'm gonna do that before I fix anything else.